Screencast 20.7 galvanic cells. If you had zinc and copper sulfate, it would react to form zinc sulfate plus copper. The zinc would get oxidized and the copper would get reduced. There's a flow of electrons here, isn't there? From the zinc, which loses them, to the copper 2 plus, which gains them. If you think of that flow of electrons as a river that's available to do useful work, that's kind of the idea for these electrochemical cells. And let's see what they do. What they do is they divide it into two half reactions. So they take a chunk of zinc, that's our zinc from this reaction, on this side, and they know that it's going to lose electrons, so they have it run through a wire. As it runs through the wire, it can do useful work. That is where the light bulb lights part happens. And since it's going into a solution of copper 2 plus, the electrons can, at that point, reduce that copper 2 plus to regular copper, which will then plate onto the anode. So that's a little bit about it. At this side, we've got oxidation taking place. The zinc is losing its electrons, 2 of them per atom, and they will travel over to this side where the copper 2 plus will get reduced. So we think of the anode as getting consumed. It's going away. It's getting smaller. And the cathode, in this case, is getting larger as copper plates onto that copper cathode. So for a galvanic cell, also known as a voltaic cell, we have a spontaneous redox reaction shown here in its full form and shown here in its net ionic form, since the sulfate is a spectator ion. Now what about the ions? If you take a look at these ions, we are starting to make zinc 2 plus here, but what's it going to do? Well, there's sulfate in solution, so it would be able to, well, no, it can't add on to any more of those sulfates because it's just a zinc sulfate solution. So we do have a salt bridge, so as that zinc 2 plus forms, we've got some chloride available. That'll make it zinc chloride. And as the copper 2 plus gets consumed, then you just have excess sulfate in solution. Now those ions need a counterion, and for that we have K plus going here. So for every Cl minus that enters here, a K plus will enter there, and that's the function of the salt bridge, is to replace those lost ions and complete the cycle. So these are galvanic cells.